Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
From Super Soul Farm, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily spiritual podcast with your host, Raghunath. Today is interview day. It's a day where we find people that we really think are doing cool things with their life, and we pick their brain, find out what they're up to. And before we introduce our special guest, Miss Mara has some special announcements for you.
Happy birthday to Sweet Lady Katie and Ishvari Sundari today. Also, we're doing Sweet Baby Krishna tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Sorry, we bailed on it last night, but we'll really do it tonight.
We're really going to do it tonight. Thanks for everybody that tuned in yesterday. It's happening today for our community, Sage Community Platform.
Sage Community Platform, yeah.
Members.
That's
if you want to support us, if you like what we're doing, go to wisdomofthesages.com and you can give a monthly donation of your choice. For those who are doing it, we don't say it enough, but we're very grateful. We love what we do, and we love this community.
Yeah.
I want to make an announcement because someone came up to me and said, hey, how can I get one of Mara's Shravanam scarves? She knits every day during the podcast. And so we called them Shravanam because she's always knitting, and the Bhagavatam is going into the scarf. And so here she is knitting, and she has a bunch of scarves in the Yogi House. And so if you want a scarf, you could just DM Mara or email her with sages108@gmail.com. Any other announcements? We have a last call. If anyone's doing Wisdom of the Sages retreat at the Govardhan Eco Village, you got to register ASAP. It's the 12th through the 24th. It culminates in the Flower Festival in Mumbai. Raghunath Swami is there the whole time. It's quite wonderful. And a second retreat we're tying on is a level 2 retreat in Mayapur. That's amazing. And for that one, you can still reach out to Mara. She'll redirect that email to Tara Prabhu, who's doing the registration for Mayapur. If you've never heard of Mayapur, it is the epicenter of Kirtan. It's an international devotee community. It's the birthplace of Chaitanya, the Kirtan avatar. And it's just a great place to be for a week. So if you can't, and they're all reasonably priced too, reasonably priced. So check that out on our website, wisdomofthesages.com, or email Miss Mara, wisdomofthesages108@gmail.com to register. Okay. All right. Now we're going to introduce our guest. Our guest is, I can honestly say, I'm a fanboy of our guest today. You know, I'd like to call him a friend, but I'm more of a fan, truthfully. But he's friendly to me. His name is Yadubara Prabhu, Yadubara Das. He met Srila Prabhupada, my guru's guru, in December 1970 in Surat, India. He was doing his master's degree in photography on the subject of the origins of Krishna consciousness in India. And Yadubara Prabhu had come with several cameras, and pretty soon his divine grace, Prabhupada, allowed him to accompany the traveling party for 2 months. From the very start, so that's the very beginning how the Bhakti movements really started in America. So from the very start, Yadubara felt immensely privileged to take photos, of Prabhupada, even though he was sort of considered an outsider. But slowly he felt himself becoming a devotee and ended up staying in India for 2.5 years, taking initiation in Kolkata in 1971. From then on, Yadubara Das served with his wife Vishaka Devi, who I'm also a fanboy of, in different projects to help Srila Prabhupada establish Krishna consciousness in India, especially the Juhu Beach Hare Krishna temple. He was then called back to America to produce documentaries. So he's created a lot. He's a filmmaker and a photographer, and his wife's an incredible photographer. And it was one of those things. It's just like the universe just called them to document the very beginning stages, and not just document it, but they're very artistic the way they did it. And it was such an asset for us right now to have all the things they left behind. And of course, we're going to talk about his incredible film that he put out, Hare Krishna. It's Forgetting the name.
mantra.
Hare Krishna, the mantra, the movement, and the Swami who started it all. Yadubara Prabhu, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Raghunath. What an introduction. Thank you.
You know, your film, because I'm an artist, I'm a musician, I have a very, when people say they're doing a film or there's a band I hear that's doing an album and they're devotees, or the devotee says I'm doing a film, I'm really, really nervous because I was like, okay, this guy is going to represent me, basically. And I was a little nervous when I heard you were doing a film. And I saw the film and I cried like 3 times. It was so wonderful. It was, a matter of fact, I've seen it many times and I've cried every time. I've seen it multiple times. And you really capture the essence of what it was like being in the 60s, the cultural revolution that was going on at the time, and how people were just over material existence, but really didn't know where to go. And you share that story so eloquently in this film. I feel like it's the perfection of filmmaking is you take what you were good at, art, photography, cinematography, and you use it to serve God and to serve the community. And I am just so grateful to not only have seen the film, but I'm fortunate to have you in my life.
I'm fortunate to have you in my life.
I knew you were going to say that.
Oh, how'd you know?
So you are, because you're humble, and even though you've done so much, and your wife is Shaka, who I just finished her book, which is 5 years, 11 months, and a lifetime of devotion. Incredible book.
Yes.
I have so much. What's that?
Very incredible, amazing book.
And basically, it's her story coming to India, or coming also as a professional photographer at a very young age. Already published a photography book, and already, got a lot of accolades from the university and from her publisher, and she also went to India, met you. You guys fell in love, and then. You met before India, was that right?
Before, yeah.
Mara just corrected me. And what a divine couple. And now you guys, truthfully, your lives are so impressive. And I think I told you that last time I saw you in India. I had the good fortune of just sitting down with you, and I just said, I am just so impressed with you guys. It's like one thing after another. It's for me, it's what I look up to, because you guys do things in a way that's really sort of out of the box. Your wife now is running a massive project in England, the manor, the temple that George Harrison gave to Srila Prabhupada. And you're still thinking of new creative ways to serve. And you've got a beautiful family. I'm friends with your daughter and her husband, and their son is friends with your grandson is friends with my son. And it's just like, I'm so happy. I'm just so happy to have you on the show. I can't believe I haven't interviewed you before this either.
Good. Yeah, you made the right made the right choice. Whatever. I'm happy to be here.
I got re-inspired after reading your wife's book, which I just recently read.
Yeah, that's Prabhupada's magic, by the way. She was an atheist when she first came. So from atheist to president of the Bhaktivedanta Manor.
That's magic.
That's magic.
Can I ask you some questions about what you were doing before you met Prabhupada, and why spiritual life appealed to you, and where your head was at, and how it slowly shifted towards spirit? We have a lot of people who are sort of new to Bhakti listening to the show, and sometimes they can identify with people coming from material existence and then sort of like having paradigm shifts. Where were you at in the 70s?
I grew up in Newport Beach, California. This is before the 70s. And went to Berkeley, University of California, Berkeley, during the revolutionary times, 1961 to 65.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't know what to do with my life. I majored in history and fine arts. And I had this vague idea of helping people. So I joined the Peace Corps to do that. 3
wow.
years of Peace Corps in Malaysia, teaching woodwork, metalwork, power mechanics, electricity to 10 and 12-year-olds. Remember those courses in school?
Yeah. Can you teach me some? I wish I knew them now.
And then, yeah, went in the Peace Corps for 3 years, came back, was interested in photography. So I went to RIT and enrolled in a master's degree program.
Wait,
And then,
RIT in Troy, New York? Oh, wait.
that's right,
Oh,
Rochester Institute of Technology.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And
Okay, go
Vishaka
continue.
was a sophomore there. I was enrolled in the graduate school. We met there and, became boyfriend, girlfriend, lived together. And then I got we got our first professional assignment to cover the Hare Krishna movement for Asia Magazine.
Huh.
And we did that. We went to the temple at 61 Second Avenue. And
Wow.
I was immediately attracted to everything. I met Prabhupada's potency first, not himself, but his potency, his temples, his devotees, his prasadam, everything about it I really liked. Vishaka had the opposite reaction. She was atheistic. It led to an interesting dynamic. So come December of 1970, I had to do a master's thesis. So I went to India because I was very attracted. Met Prabhupada, showed him that article in Surat, Gujarat,
Hmm.
and I asked him if I could travel with him. And he said, "Are you going to become a devotee?" And I said, "I don't think so, Prabhupada."
Really
And
put
the
you on the
man
spot.
shaving and wearing the robes. So anyway, I said, "I don't think so." So Prabhupada immediately said, "Then you cannot stay."
Mm.
Here I come 10,000 miles. I came unannounced, by the way.
Wow.
I knew I was coming. I don't know how I did that.
He just showed up.
I
Well,
just,
of course, it's not like he can text somebody or text his secretary. It's like he just got to
no, you couldn't do
figure it
that.
out and get there, show up, and wish for the best.
Yeah, so Prabhupada said, then you cannot stay. So I spent the night there. They put me up. And the next morning I got up and nobody said anything. Prabhupada didn't say anything. And I stayed for 2 months. The problem that shows you that Prabhupada knew our hearts. He
Right,
had some interest.
right.
And that comment about then you cannot stay is actually meant really for everyone, because if we don't become, a devotee in the midst of devotees, how do we, what do we do?
Mm.
Kind of flounder. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, 2 months. Did you have now? Were you an outsider, or did you rise early, chant? Did you
I,
follow a
I,
program of a monk, or were you
I,
just sort of
I
an outsider
tried.
checking them out?
I tried. It didn't work very well.
Okay.
I was shooting black and white film for my master's thesis, still photographs. And I had to develop the film in a bathroom early morning during Mangalarti. So the temperature was right and there was water
Mm.
because it got very hot during the day. So anyway, I was in Maya, basically, according to the devotees. But there were a few devotees who really befriended me, Gurudas, Yamuna, and a few others, yeah. So anyway, Prabhupada allowed me to stay. And then Vishaka came 2 months after I was there. And we went off we asked him, we wanted to do another photographic essay on a quaint Indian village. So Prabhupada said, best you go to Vrindavan.
Mm.
So we went to Vrindavan. That's where Vishaka's heart changed. You can read that in the book. And so we stayed in India for 2.5 years, forgot about my thesis.
Wow. Okay. I'm gonna rewind this a little bit. So Surat, first of all, is in Gujarat, correct? And can you tell the context now? It's 1971, and you're in Surat, which is. Are there any Hare Krishna temples? Of course, there's Krishna temples in India, but is there any of Prabhupada's temples in India, or he's just
No,
traveling with a bunch of Americans?
traveling
Wh-
with a bunch of Americans. Yeah. And
And
Prabhupada went all over India
mm,
with his group. It was the first big batch of Westerners coming to India,
wow.
of Vaishnavas. It was quite historic. And
And Gujarat is famous for Krishna devotees. Everybody is like a devotee of
oh,
Krishna there.
That's right. Full of devotees.
I'd love to see the photos from that you took. I probably
Yeah.
have and I didn't realize it. So you went to Prabhupada sent you to Vrindavan on your own. He wasn't there?
No, there was no temple there. There was an apartment. Sometimes devotees would come and go.
Hmm.
There was no temple at that time.
I mean, what did you do?
We wandered we wandered the streets and took pictures.
Well, it's like if I'm going to go to Vrindavan in February. I know what to do. I'm a devotee. Not to do. I know what to eat. I know where to eat. I know, to walk around Govardhan Hill. I know the holy places. There was no English books on what to do in Vrindavan. Like you didn't even have your sadhana, your spiritual practice established. Your wife wasn't even a devotee. What
No.
did you do for 2 months in Vrindavan without maybe,
We took a lot of pictures. That was the idea.
you took a lot of pictures. Okay.
Documented a simple village, Indian village.
Hmm.
And it was simple then. It was very simple. It's completely different now.
Yeah,
Prabhupada made Vrindavan world famous.
that's for sure.
Yeah.
Wow. And did you develop a lot of relationships back then? Perhaps even ones that you still have?
We made some. Most of them have passed away now.
Sure,
Dr. Kapoor, Prabhupada's godbrother, and
sure.
a few other devotees. But then after Vrindavan, we went to Calcutta to produce the Vyasa Puja book for Prabhupada. That was in 1971, August.
Vyasa Puja book. I'm just going to interrupt here. Vyasa Puja book is a book of photos and loving offerings to the guru on his birthday. And so they make a book every year. And so you were going to produce that. Now, you were already a disciple at that time, a student of
No,
Prabhupada?
Not, I'd been with Prabhupada for, with 2 months and then around the devotees for another few months. And we went to Calcutta. I was initiated there in November.
Okay.
October. And then Prabhupada took us to Vrindavan from first Delhi and then Vrindavan. And Vishak and I were married in Vrindavan.
Oh, wow.
With Prabhupada presiding.
Wow. Imagine that. So what did Vishaka think about all this at the time? Your wife, I mean, you're getting initiated. She's an atheist. How did that work out? Was she like, okay, I'm getting sucked into this?
She was transformed in Vrindavan.
Oh, really?
She would sit in the temples and photograph the widows chanting Hare Krishna. She would hear chanting Hare Krishna, the chant all day. And then we'd walk in the streets, Jai Radhe, Jai Krishna. It was magical, transforming in time.
It's amazing how you can just go to Vrindavan. And I'm sure you've seen this happen on multiple occasions, and I've seen it happen. People go to Vrindavan and their lives are just never the same anymore.
Yeah.
And
GEV is a similar place.
GEV. So Yadubara Prabhu is at the Govardhan Eco Village, and that is Raghunath Swami's eco village, but it's modeled after Vrindavan. And it has that same mood of like this beautiful, simple village, and it gets nicer and nicer every year as everything grows in. And I'm sure you saw it from nothing of just his dream. And I'm so excited. Am I gonna see you there on January 1st?
Yeah, for sure.
You're gonna be there the month?
Yeah.
All right, let's play your movie on the big screen and we'll have movie night.
Yeah, we're having lots of movie nights here.
Great. Movie night and puffed lotus seeds. That can be our
Not popcorn.
Okay, so now you're initiated and you're documenting all this early, all these early photos that look like they could all be in Life magazine, and you've got them all, and Prabhupada just gave you carte blanche to travel with him.
Yeah, and then he asked us to stay in Juhu, which is a huge temple today. Back then it was nothing. It was a barren tract of land with some apartments. So we stayed there. Prabhupada secured that land with great hardship, and we served him for 2 years there. And then
Wow.
we got a message from Karandar Prabhu, the head of the BBT, Bhaktivedanta Book Trust. He
It's
wanted
the
the film on
publishing
his
arm
film.
of Prabhupada's books. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead.
He wanted the film on ISKCON. There was no films at that time, film the Hare Krishna movement. So Prabhupada liked the idea. In fact, Prabhupada paid $16,000 from his book fund to fund that first film.
Wow.
That means Prabhupada was a visionary in all ways. He knew the value of media.
Mm.
Came out with that film in '74, and he asked us to do many more films. At that time, I asked him, could we do a film in your life? And Prabhupada said, what is the need? In his humility.
Mm.
And I mentioned the people in the future will want to know who started the Hare Krishna movement. And then he agreed.
Wow. Seems like you're a visionary too, Prabhu.
I don't know what I am.
All right, I'm going to ask you a question that I have yet to get a good answer from any Prabhupada disciple. But I think because sometimes people say this answer, they say, I just saw Prabhupada and I knew that this person was my guru. I just saw Prabhupada and I experienced his potency and this man was my guru. Now, when we explain to people how to find a guru, we say, you should study the Srimad Bhagavatam. You should first distinguish what is a guru and what a guru is not. What a guru is not his clothes. A guru is not, her sari. A guru is not a long guy with a long beard or beautiful hair. A guru teaches what has been taught. So my question is, when you met Prabhupada, did you say this person is my guru? Or was it sort of like you had to sort of feel it out and understand even what a guru is at first, etc.?
Yeah, that's me. The latter.
The latter. Okay. So you had to really discern and understand.
It took time.
Mm.
I can understand that Prabhupada was a very powerful personality right from the beginning. Just his presence was electric.
Mm.
But it took time for me to understand, what's going on. Who are these people? When I first saw them on the streets of LA chanting, that's my first introduction. I was just bewildered. Where are they from? Who are they?
Mm.
And that created Prabhupada's, another genius was to go out on the streets and have Harinam, because the whole of the Western world became curious.
Mm.
We did the same thing in India, and people were, thrilled to see the Western Vaishnavas.
Yeah, I will say that when you do street chanting in India, which we do when we take people on pilgrimage, Indians lose their mind. They are just so happy. And sometimes they'll just follow us and then they'll give their whole half of their day to us, sit with us, join us, pull me aside privately and say, hey, can we somehow join you? How do you do that? Where are you going to be tomorrow? Are you doing this tomorrow? And
It's amazing.
there's something.
They're so happy.
What's that?
They're so proud. They're so proud to see, foreigners take to their culture.
They're
Or to
so
speak of the early days. I mean, it's still like that. The early days was really incredible, dynamic.
sometimes can I sing? Is it okay if I sing? I know a bunch of songs. Can I play your harmonium? I can play harmonium. I was in my childhood, I did this all the time. Now I work here and I don't do it so much. I would love to do it again. So I wish I could be there on those early days where the first, and of course it's before like even when I went to India for the first time in 1988, there's like 2 televisions in Vrindavan. No one had a television. It was like, and so you don't even know. I mean, I could imagine people have like never seen white people outside of a newspaper. What to speak of white people wearing dhotis and tilak and robes and chutters, and it must have been such a spectacle.
It was incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really lamenting for that I was born 20 years too late and I missed a lot of this. I wish I was with you on those early
Well,
days.
you could still go to small villages and have the same reaction, as you say.
Yeah, it is like that as well. And it's still like that. India's still got that feeling that you can just chant and sing in holy places and people will just be, excited. So, Did you travel around the world with Prabhupada or just basically through India?
No, we came back to America, made that first film, Hare Krishna People.
Mm,
And then Prabhupada liked that. He wants to make more films.
mm.
Prabhupada saw four of our films. We traveled to make those. And we accompanied Prabhupada. We shot Prabhupada mostly, covered Prabhupada mostly with still photographs and video. Sorry, not video, film
Wow.
in
Yeah.
USA, Europe, and India.
Wow. Wow.
And
And
collected films others shot from around the world
wow.
to make our current film. Yeah.
Were you in the mix with the Beatles and when all the people started, celebrities started getting into bhakti?
I was there when George met Prabhupada at the Manor. Of course, we know that he donated the Bhaktivedanta Manor to the devotees. That was 1973. The installation was 1973. So I was in Prabhupada's room when George came in, and he played Prabhupada a song that he had produced called Krishna, Where Are You?
Wow.
And he was with Lakshmi Shankar, who was the singer, very famous singer. And it was a beautiful song. Prabhupada sat there and tapping his knee and eyes closed, completely absorbed.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
It must have seemed at that time like this is it. It's about to take over the entire
World.
world. We got George Harrison in the other room. Lakshmi
Yeah.
Shankar is here. Donovan, whatever, was living in London.
Donovan was there.
Donovan was there. I mean, there must be, I think there, who else was there at that time? It was such a exciting time.
Yeah. Shamsudha would bring many specialists in different fields of science and education and politics to meet Prabhupada.
Mm,
It was an amazing time. There's many of them are recorded.
wow. And so tell me when your movie when your last movie came out that why can't I forget Mara? Why can't I keep forgetting the name?
Krishna, the mantra.
Hare Krishna,
Just
the
say
mantra, the
everybody.
movement, the Swami who started it all.
It's too
The
long.
movie that I love that I can never remember the name. Can you tell me like what inspired you? Like, okay, now I got to do this. Didn't you feel like I've done enough? What inspired you to do that?
Yeah, we felt when we got the order or the request from Srila Prabhupada to make a film for the TOVP on Prabhupada's life, we felt we had already done it with our documentary 1983, Your Ever Well Wisher.
Yeah, the
But
great
then we
documentary.
meditated on that for a while, and that was the wrong format. It was old, 83. Well, the request
Right,
was made in 2013.
right.
We were attached, and then so finally we decided to do it. We need to do this, and then we started. It took 4 years to make.
Did you have a big
Initially,
team
it
of
was for the
people?
TOV. Initially, it was for the TOVP, but it went worldwide.
Mm,
And it was most exciting time of my life.
wow,
Vishak and I, traveled and did Q&A in different countries all over the world.
wow. Did you have a big team making it, or was it a lot of it
We
just
we had
gathering in for?
five devotees,
Wow.
and all living in our house. I was living in a in the motorhome
In Florida?
in Florida. Yeah.
Uh, but such incredible, you take that sacrifice and you're all living together, making it happen. It's not like you were Hollywood funded, but what an impact it has. And I really feel like that this film is going to last. How can we see it? How can anybody see it now? Is it easily accessible?
It is. It's on Amazon in certain countries, what US included,
Okay.
but it's also on our website. It's only in English on Amazon. It's on our website in over 30 languages. Most of
Oh,
them are subtitled, 23 languages subtitled, about 10 dubbed. All the major Indian languages. You'll have it's a 90-minute film. You have the short version also. We just came out with a short version. for schools, colleges, for the, the hour
That's smart.
class.
That's
Yeah.
smart. Was there any one
But
particular
our website's, sorry, our website's harekrishnahthefilm.com.
HareKrishnaTheFilm.com.
Film.com.
Okay,
But,
I'm going to encourage.
I want to thank, our crew, Coralie Tapper from Australia, and I'm sorry here, Vladini Rata,
Hmm,
um, Krishna Shakti, Lalita Priya. Lalita Priya added a huge amount. She was a film graduate from Australia, and she really did a great job. They all did a great job. Uh, her cousin Jessica Heinrich also was
hmm,
there. Vishaka, of course.
incredible. In your time with Prabhupada, was there something that just sort of like some piece of, a takeaway that we can take with us to not a lot of us will ever or have ever had any time with him? Was there some message he gave you that you took to heart that maybe somehow we could use in our life? Anything stand out for you?
Uh, I just think of the basics that we're not this body and mind.
Hmm,
And it's such a relief because it gives us lots of trouble, especially as we get older and older.
hmm,
We're really locked into that. We're not so independent. We think sometimes I can do anything I want, but it all comes back to us in one way or the other. And we're forced to accept certain things. We're forced to, grow old,
hmm,
forced to get disease. So this idea of independence is somewhat illusory.
hmm.
Yeah, just really the basics, I would say.
The
And
basics are powerful.
yeah, it takes time to absorb that and realize it.
Hmm.
I'm not there yet, but I'm trying.
What do we have to look forward to
We have
as we practice? Like almost like I'm asking you to sort of sell it to me as a junior. What do we have to look forward to as we practice? You've been practicing a long time.
you can look forward to no hankering and no lamenting. That's a big one.
They say that's like the material condition, hoping for the future,
Uh,
lamenting for the past.
that's right. That's right. So if we can be freed from that and also discover a new level of happiness that
Mm,
doesn't come from the senses,
mm,
that's what Prabhupada gave us, a whole new level
mm,
of happiness. We're happiness so often means relief from suffering. Like we come up for air and able to breathe again.
You and your wife are people in my life that I look up to as teachers, as gurus. Maybe you're not official gurus, but I feel like you should be because both of you carry no ego with you whatsoever. And you just live by example. And to me, that's a guru. Um, can you just give me some advice, and maybe all of us some advice on how to not ruin your spiritual life, and what to not do in your spiritual life, and what to do in your spiritual life to have success as we move forward?
What to do is make friends with those advanced devotees you respect and see advancement in. That
Mm,
they're on another level. They're not into satisfying the senses and into criticism. They're very they're transcendental. Actually,
mm,
Arjuna asks Krishna, what is the man of transcendence? How does he walk? How does he sit? What does he say? And I just think of our film being the best answer to that.
mm.
Plugging the film again.
You may plug the film again. Um, okay, well, we're going to wind it up today, and I would really want to encourage everybody to check out the movie. And Yadubara Prabhu, really grateful for you on the podcast. You guys live exemplary lives. I'm honored to have you in my life. And thanks for joining us. I know we had a little technical difficulty, but I'm
Very
glad we
much.
got
I'm
to
sorry for
share
that.
your story. Are you going to write a book?
I'm trying
Good.
on the request of Hari Priya, my daughter.
Nice. And so that's a full-on project. So is that taking up most of your time right now?
I'm not working on so much now. I need to get back
Okay. Well,
to the
that's
writing.
okay. Well, Prabhu, we're happy to see you in the Govardhan Eco Village this January.
Wonderful.
Keep doing what you're doing. You're living inspiration. Give my love to your wife. We're looking forward to having her on the podcast soon. And yeah, just hearing your story gives for myself gives me some hope in my spiritual life. And very great.
I would say what not to do is to give up the process. Just
Thank
stick
you.
with it, and the result will. Thank you.
Thanks, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Make sure you check out the movie.
I'll put the how to access the movie in the show notes.
Great. And thanks for everybody for joining us. Tomorrow is Monday. We're on at 7 a.m. Looking forward to seeing people. I'm off to Brazil on Wednesday, so I'm going to miss a bunch of people. And looking forward to seeing all the Brazilians and South Americans that are going to show up at the shows. And tonight, Sweet Baby Krishna, 7:30. Thank you again to our guest, Yadubara Prabhu. Very honored to have him. It's a beautiful day for a beautiful day. Let the magic continue to flow, and a big Haribol.